Today, I'm going to be talking about how to build your own Sonicator. A Sonicator is a piece of equipment that can be very handy in a lab. It is used for interacting with various materials, as well as mixing and doing interesting things. A Sonicator comes with sonic, that word. It uses ultrasonic frequencies to modify the material at hand. There are two main types of sonicators. One of them is a probe type sonicator, where a probe will be inserted into the mixture that you are trying to, or the substance that you're trying to sonicate. The other one is more of a bath, a bowl, if you will, and that shakes and vibrates. There is an inexpensive version for the home and type things, uses jewelry cleaners that you may have seen. I will be building more the bowl style just because it is a lot easier to build. But I'm going to be building hopefully a industrial level power and able to last, even though I'm doing longer sonication timings. Now, a professional sonicator is very expensive and includes many extra features such as automatic timing and things like that. My version is going to be very simple. Timing will be done by my watch or my phone, and I will be turning it on and off manually. I think that's an easy price to pay for the huge discount, because I can't afford the several $100s that would be for a industrial normal sonicator. This video will be in two parts. The first part here may be enough for you. It may be enough that you can run with. I'll show you in the second part, the second video, exactly how it went together, but I'm going to give you all the ideas and my concepts in this video, and that may very well be enough for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a stainless steel pan. Now, it turns out that it is not hard to buy these, which was a wonderful, pleasant surprise, because they're used all over the place for hotels. They're called a steam pan in that case. They have a lid, and so it's a stainless steel pan, just like what I wanted for the laboratory, but it was very, very cheap, because they build them in lots of volume, and volume equals cheap. So going to be taking this as a stainless steel pan. In this will go the water, and then in the water will go a jar or whatever that holds the mixture that I'm trying to sonicate. The water will transfer the energy. Now, I've read that it can be better to suspend the jar, and so I may have a strap that actually suspends the jar from its lid or something like that, so that it can get the maximum amount of energy transfer without just clunking around against the pan. But to do this, I need the ultrasonic generation, and it turns out that's not hard either. This is a piezoelectric transducer, and I am going to be doing sonication at 40,000 hertz, 40 kilohertz, with this device. Now, this device goes directly on the bottom of the pan, and the pan is like this. Now, obviously, you don't want it to fall off, so you need to attach it to the pan. What I'll do that with is this JB Weld original formula. You want the strongest possible bond between the transducer and the pan. You really want that to be a strong bond. So what from my research, it looks like this is one of the strongest bonds. They have various formulas. Be careful. The original one looks like it's the best for this purpose. I don't own any stock in JB Weld, but it does look like it's the easiest one and the best one. So I will be taking that. It says to clean off your surfaces. I've been handling this pan and messing with it, so I'm going to take some rubbing alcohol and get any oils off the bottom. Then I'm going to take some sanding stuff and rough it up, because you want it rough. Then I will take this 2-part epoxy, put it on this, which already has a nice rough surface, and then attach it. It needs to sit for like 24 hours This has some weight to it, so it doesn't really need to be clamped. It'll do just fine, but you need to just put it aside and let it sit for about 24 hours, and then you should have a nice bond between the two pieces. Now this, the transducer, is readily available, Amazon.com, places like that. You might do a much better price by going to some of the Chinese websites and getting it directly from China, or possibly finding on eBay. Just be really careful. There's a huge variety for the exact same parts of prices. I wanted to buy something that I knew would work, and you need two pieces. You need the transducer and you need a driver board. This driver board will drive this. Think of this as a speaker. Okay, and so you need something that produces the 40 kilohertz signal to go into the speaker. Now this driver board is very easy to deal with. It doesn't even come with instructions because there's not a lot of instructions needed. It has two wires that hook up to either 110 or 220, depending on your local electricity. And so two wires that hook up to that, and then two wires that hook up to the transducer. That's it. Two. To the wall plug, through a switch if you want, and then directly to the transducer. So it is very easy. It comes with mounting holes for you to be able to mount it to your unit. And the transducer, it looks like that this model, this is connected to here. So I'm going to call that the ground. This one looks separated, so I'm going to call that the active. And so I'm going to hook the black wire to the ground one and the active one to the red wire. So I'll hook this to the box, and then I need to suspend this. And what I'm going to do is just make a very simple, plain wood box. So I want it to be thick enough. Okay, so here is the wood I'll be using. I want to make it thick enough that even with the transducer and everything, that it would stand up and it would have a gap. So you want to make sure that that's thick enough. Maybe buy the wood afterwards. This is a standard width pine. And then I'll be putting them together into a box, and then it'll have a lid on top. Now this lid, I will cut a hole in for the pan. So the pan will just go in there, and I'll leave one side so that I have a little more room on this side for the transducer to be mounted inside the box. Actually, that way. The transducer will get mounted inside the box on the other piece, and everything should be fine. So it is a very simple construction. I'm just going to glue and screw this pine board. This is what they call 1-inch pine, but it's actually 3/4 of an inch thickness. That's just how they call the wood. This happens to be a 10-inch thing. You can get these pans in 4-inch deep and 6-inch deep. This is the 6-inch. You can get them in different sizes. This is called the 1/6 pan. A 1/3 pan is longer, and you can get them in all sorts of different sizes. I'm thinking that I want to concentrate it, keep the pan small, concentrate the energy onto the thing that I'm lowering into. So that's what I went with. The transducer and driver, I got at the same time, so they're matched. And I like doing that so that, from the same people, they're matched. They should work together well, should be no problem. It's a 60-watt unit, so I'm hoping that should be plenty to generate the energy that I want into it. The primary use for me for the Sonicator, I believe, will be to take flake graphite and put it into a mixture of acetone and water. Thank you, Robert Murray Smith again. 75% acetone, 25% water, and put it in a mixture and shake that graphite apart into graphene, that wonderful unique structure. So I'm hoping that this is what I can use. You can also use a blender, but I'm hoping that the Sonicator will be a much better way for me to do it in a way that doesn't burn out, that works for a long time. So that's it. That's all there is to it. It's a very simple device to make, but it can be very useful for certain experiments. Again, I'll show a second video. We'll have, you'll see how it went together. but I think for most people, this video may be enough for you to know how to build your own. Thank you very much, and I hope this is helpful.